This next young man, he's such a funny guy, works all over town and here regularly. Mr. Ken Krantz, everybody. Ken Krantz! Come on out!
Number one movie in the world this week, Michael Jackson, This Is It. $150 million. Congratulations, world. $150 million to a singing, dancing pedophile. And I know people like to think that he wasn't. We sort of swept that whole kid fucking thing right under the rug. But let's be honest. What's the popular argument? Everybody says, well, he was never convicted. That's true, but he was never acquitted either, was he? He just gave some kid a lot of money to go away. Remember when that first kid came out in the 90s and said Michael molested him? And Michael had that press conference on MTV looking all serious, like, the American people should know if their king of pop is a perv. And I'm not a perv, and I'm gonna fight these charges in court, and I can't wait, you'll see. Then the kid came back with, well, I could pick his dick out of a lineup. Seriously, take me down to the precinct, line up like 6 cocks. I'll tell you which one's Michael's. Then Michael came back with, here's $23 million. Please stop talking. But the thing is, you know that kid didn't need a lineup, right? You know he would have aced the blindfold taste test. Like, nah, too sour. Nah, this one's a little gamey. Well, that's the one. I'd know that dick anywhere. It tastes just like Macaulay Culkin. You know, but the real tragedy of Michael dying was that Farrah Fawcett died of cancer the same day and the world didn't even notice. But I think the next time 2 famous white ladies die on the same day, the coverage has to go to the hotter one. I know everyone thinks Michael was a bigger star because he could walk backwards and sold, 52 billion records. But Farrah did something much more important for America. She taught a whole generation of men how to beat off. And she did it with just one poster. And that poster was so hot, people were beating off to a lady in a one-piece bathing suit. Think about that. That poster was so hot that if Farrah had just one white blood cell for every time I personally beat off to it, she'd still be alive. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. I'm glad you guys like that joke, because my wife hates when I tell that joke. She thinks I spend too much time writing stupid dick jokes and not enough time doing anything else. So I could tell she's getting annoyed. I came home the other night and she had bought this doll. This thing's real. You could find it in the stores. It's called the Perfect Husband doll. And you press its button and it says a whole bunch of ridiculous bullshit that no husband, anywhere in America would ever say. Like, I love your mom. I think she should come spend a week. And who wants to watch football? Let's go to the mall. And you look tired. Take a bath. I'll make dinner. She proceeded to torture the shit out of me with this doll for the next week. She would press its button like 50 times a night, telling me, I really think you could learn something from him. So I eventually had enough. I went out, I hit the stores until I found the Perfect Wife doll, and I brought it home. Except I took the batteries out. So this way, no matter how many times you pushed its button, all it could do was shut the fuck up. I told her, I really think you could learn something from her. My wife hates when I tell that joke, too. Excuse me. So, speaking of wives, I thought this was pretty fucked up. I just saw in the news, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Al-Qaeda in Iraq and Pakistan are now talking their wives into being suicide bombers because they say females can get through the security checkpoints easier. It's almost enough to make you respect these fuckers, right? Like, What do? We give them our house and half our money and half our shit. These guys are talking their wives into blowing themselves up. I can't even talk my wife into blowing me. How do they keep a straight face during these negotiations? You know, the second she walks out the door with the bomb strapped on, he's on the phone with his buddies. Now, bear in mind, I can't even remotely do a Middle Eastern accent, so this is gonna come out as like a cross between Hindu and Jamaican. But you know he's on the phone with his buddies like, yes, Mohammed, this is Ahmad. Listen, the bitch fell for it. No, I can't believe it either. She just walked out the door. It's party at my house tonight. And listen, if I were you, I'd make sure your wife's at the supermarket at 12:30. Thank you. So not to be outdone, I see the Taliban is up to some really wacky shit in Afghanistan. Afghanistan just had their first free elections ever. And the Taliban released a statement saying they were going to cut a finger off of any woman caught voting in the elections just to teach them a lesson. Then I saw on CNN where the AP ran a photo of 3 women in burqas waving their finger at the camera, like daring the Taliban to cut their fingers off. Taunting the fucking Taliban. That's some serious shit. Got me to thinking, like, these people are really dedicated to the democratic process. Who in this room would vote if they threatened to cut your finger off for voting? I wouldn't vote if they threatened to cut off my cable. I don't even need to be threatened not to vote. I sometimes just forget all on my own. Come home from work, smoke a joint, drink a bottle of wine, wake up Wednesday morning, there's a new guy in office. I didn't know a thing about it. Hey, you guys have been really great. My name's Ken Krantz. Thank you.
Everybody, Ken Krantz, very funny.